Big picture, when you think about the way we're valuing technology, the way we're thinking about the advertising market, the new landscape that we're in, slowness out of China, if you think that impacts Apple, how do you think about this stuff?
Yeah, I think this quarter in particular is proving to be a watershed moment for big tech. And I say this for a couple of reasons. First of all, everybody's all of a sudden realizing that these names are not immune from the cyclical slowdown. And what's really happening with big tech, I think it was what's playing out with the rest of the market as well, which is margin pressure. All of a sudden, the demand is slowing, so the top line growth is not what it used to be. But at the same time, a lot of these big tech companies have hired a lot of people. They've invested a lot in CapEx. I mean, look at cloud CapEx has grown significantly over the last several quarters. But now, for example, Microsoft CapEx had declined for the first time in 7 quarters. So that's what companies are struggling with. Top line is declining. The costs are here. So that's pressuring margin. So big tech is not immune from that. But the second thing that's part of the watershed moment here is that the secular growth that we used to count on and this, tie into the mega trends of digital transformation, well, guess what? A lot of that has played out for a lot of these big tech companies. They've pulled forward demand for e-commerce, for example, or even cloud adoption during the pandemic. And I think we've borrowed from the future years. We've borrowed that growth, into the last several years. So that's what's really happening here. And so maybe the secular growers of the next few years is just not going to be these big tech companies. So yes, they are cheap. They have re-rated lower. But if you look at the earnings growth, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Microsoft, it's starting to come down. And in some cases, it's lower than the S&P 500. So that's what I think is playing out. And I mean, the social media, angle as well. I mean, that's a model that maybe needs a little bit of rejiggering. You've got the data privacy concerns. You've got the lack of authentication of accounts concerns. There's a lot of work to do.